What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with the Counter Punch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, and his destined rivalry. Get this, Tyson Fury quotes domestically, "I know you're still out there." Tyson Fury reveals 3 British rivalries still out there for him, including Anthony Joshua, David Haye, and David Price. Listen, I don't really like to assume anything with Tyson Fury based on his last performance, based on his last opponent. I wouldn't put that past him at all, okay? Anthony Joshua, okay, we know the obvious, but David Haye, David Price, those are some guys that he never fought while he was going through his episode those 3 years that he was out of the ring. And, you know, I think that Tyson Fury would actually fight them. But the question would be, when would you have time to fight them? Okay, now, speculation purposes, let's assume he's talking about after he needs to get what he needs to get done for unification reasons, okay? Total unification reasons. But if he's talking about, because you could also speculate, fighting these guys next, David Haye or David Price, if he actually does that, his stock would drop. Why? Because people don't want to see him fight David Haye. David Haye hasn't been in the ring like that. He was a retired fighter. He just stayed in shape, right? David Price, I don't know what he's really been doing at all. But those guys are nowhere near the activity rate, the talent rate, or have any type of legitimacy of any kind to fight Tyson Fury. They haven't deserved anything. So it's fair to say, people, if Tyson Fury decides to fight one of these guys, for me, it would be sad, but for me, it wouldn't be anything new from Tyson Fury. Because you guys can remember, based on how Tyson Fury came back to boxing, he fought 2 guys just for tune-ups, Pianetta, Safari, then he fights Wilder. 2019, he fights Tom Schwartz, then he fights Otto Wallin, which was a lot tougher than he expected. He just thought he was going to take out two undefeated guys that never been beat, okay? But then he fights Wilder 2020, Wilder 2021, 2022. He takes on Dillian White, and he fights Derek Chisora. Okay, now, people, if you look at Tyson Fury is really not keen on giving you the best fights as of yet. He doesn't. He gives you, he takes some tune-ups, he takes some breaks, then he'll give you a good fight maybe at the end of the year. Okay, so if we can say anything about Tyson Fury, we can say that he likes a real fight, then a tune-up. A real fight, then a tune-up. Okay, that's his MO. Okay, so him fighting any of these guys, minus Joshua, David Price, and David Haye, because it was just too random. Why David Price? Why David Haye? You know, British rivals, right? Okay, so he, and I think what he's picked up from his last outing with Derek Chisora, he knows people domestically are going to watch those fights. It might not be a huge worldwide number, but it will definitely be a good domestic dispute, okay? A domestic clash, right? So I think if he's looking for an easy way out, that's no different from when Deontay Wilder cherry-picked him or when he cherry-picked Deontay Wilder. But I would really more so say when Deontay Wilder cherry-picked him, because Tyson Fury ain't been in the ring with anyone that's dangerous that had a chance of beating him. Okay, so and then plus all that other stuff that he went through, the weight gain and the drugs and the drinking and stuff like that. So, that would be no different from him picking those guys that they've been out, especially David Haye. Again, I don't know what David Price has really been up to lately. He might be retired. I don't know. But if we're looking at him just choosing one of these guys, don't be surprised if this is next. But if this is next, again, his stock is going to drop because nobody really wants to hear that. And then see, this was a few days ago. Okay, this wasn't 2 or 3 months ago. This was 3 days ago, people. So when you start making comments like that, you start dropping seeds in the ground of interest that maybe you might fight one of these guys next. Okay, so you could already be putting your ducks in a row, implying that, hey, you know what? I'll fight one of these domestic rivals if that Usyk fight doesn't happen in time. Okay, because you guys know by now that Frank Warren is in a rush, in a scramble to get this done, and he's making concerns like we need to get it done. I don't like to hear stuff like that. Why? Because that makes you think that maybe there's some type of problem getting done, which I haven't heard that there isn't, but we didn't hear anything bad when they were trying to get the Joshua fight together, right? And everything looked good. Everything was positive. Everything was this and that and on the up and up. Okay, so, when I read stuff like this, I start looking like, you know what? Tyson Fury might fight one of these cats, But see, here's the thing. If fighting these guys would be very bad for Tyson Fury, that means back to back you fought 2 guys or 2 opponents that didn't have a chance of really winning, that nobody really wanted to see. Nobody cared to see Derek Chisora. God bless him. He made his money, but he took a beating in the process, right? So if he fights David Price or he fights David Haye, it's like, okay, you're just trying to get out of this fight, or you're really not trying hard enough to make the fight everybody wants to see, because a domestic rivalry is so easier to make. And that's an easier fight. So everything is easy all the way around, but there's no reward for those type of fights, But then again, people are going to think, man, maybe Tyson Fury don't care. And he may not care if he keeps picking guys like this to fight, because it makes you wonder. But again, that's assuming, I want people to stay with me, that's assuming if this is right now. I just wonder why he would bring that up now and not specify that he would fight after he fights guys like Usyk and Joe Joyce, okay? Because if I'm Tyson Fury, these guys shouldn't even come into question. They shouldn't even be options. They should just simply be random dudes that I'll fight later on down the line. Those would be the small goals that keeps my mind intact. Let me take on David Price, get him paid. Let me take on David Haye. Let me fight him once and for all. Hell, I might throw in Tony Bellew just for kickers. But that's after I've done everything that people already wanted me to see or wanted me to do. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Tyson the Gypsy King Fury calling out David Price, David Haye. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.